What's up, Sagittarius? This is Soul from Intuitive Tarot, here to look at your week ahead starting May 19th, 2025. Sagittarius, I hope all is well. Welcome any new subscribers to my channel. I definitely appreciate you guys. And I'm, going ahead and say I do apologize here before I begin, Sagittarius, because you know what? I get so caught up with the stuff that I do on a personal level. I forgot to mention Happy Mother's Day for the last week's readings for Mother's Day this past weekend. So I hope you guys had a great Mother's Day weekend and all went well. Anyway, the deck that I am using here to do your messages for the week will be listed in the description box as always. Never reading, well, I shouldn't say never, just not reading reversals at this particular time. Okay, so let's concentrate on the energies here for Sagittarius. What are the messages for Sagittarius potentially coming up here this week? Okay, what can I tell them? What can I tell my Saggies? All right, let's give it a cut and begin the messages. Okay, Sagittarius, here we go. We're going to start off with the major arcana, the High Priestess. All right, so one thing to keep in mind that's very important about the High Priestess is you have to pay attention to your intuition and you have to trust any types of energies related to any gut instincts, especially if the feelings are so strong, the inner voices that you hear. The very first thing that you get related to, your gut impression, that's usually the correct answer, Sagittarius, believe it or not. Anyway, opposites attract here. The High Priestess also too represents relationships. It is the number 2. What else? You could be shielding secrets from someone. Someone could be shielding secrets from you. Likes and crushes also come forward. But if we get other cards to, reveal that the person may come through, that may be what happens or could occur. But also, too, there may be something going on here for you this week, Sagittarius, and the advice always comes from the High Priestess is just to be patient in any endeavors or any matters that you are undertaking or going through this week. So that's the High Priestess. Next up, we have the King of Pentacles. One of the big money cards is showing up here. So again, the money could be coming to you, okay, in the form of a promotion. It could be a job offer, bonus money, pay raises. This is a court card, so it could be someone who views you, again, as someone who's dependable, reliable, always willing to help out, always nurturing, caring, definitely supportive, but it doesn't always have to result in lending, money. This is your boss in the workplace environment, of course, the creditors, money and resources looking good for any Sagittarius who may be running their own business, could be home-based business. So very powerful card to receive. And or you could regard the King of Pentacles showing up in your spread that you're, some of you that I'm reading for at least, your financial situation is on solid ground. Or is it about, or about to improve here? 7 of Swords here, I read, usually connected to people that you have disconnected your energies from. That could be family members, friends, and definitely ex-romantic partners. Now, because 7 of Swords is in your spread doesn't necessarily mean that you're still dealing with the energies, but it could be lingering around. Just again, mirrors over here to the High Priestess. Trust your intuition. If these people have to resurface or happen to resurface, know that they still have not resolved any conflicting energies involving themselves or any, conflicting energies that they may have had with you. If they do return, they're just going to create more conflict and chaotic situations, scenarios for you. So just be discerning, use your judgment, pay attention to your intuition to know that they are not going to add anything new or add anything new, bring anything new to the table or the plate. So the other thing too, if it's not that energy that you are experiencing this week here, it could mean that anything in terms of material stuff resurfacing, things that you thought you lost, misplaced, put down, forgot about, all of that energy seems to resurface with the energy of the 7 of Swords in your spread. But also too, to take the reading a little into depth here, whenever the sword shows up with pentacles, I always talk about, and this is a big money card here, I always talk about there could be some, news going on where there's, layoffs taking place. Um, could be any company wanting to downsize. Could be, anything involving or stock markets, right? So think in terms of the King of Pentacles that represents money, the swords, sharp instrument, it cuts, right? The swords always cuts or slice, take away. So it could be, anything related to any major companies that, you hear next week that are uh, deciding to cut back their workforce or, you know, could be filing like, bankruptcy, Chapter 13. All right. So that is the Seven of Swords. Up next, now we have the Four of Pentacles. In this instance here, you could be holding on to something tight, Sagittarius, that needs to be released a little bit. And it still would mean of, like a small, moderate pay raise for some of you, but you could also be saving up for something greater. The withholding of information or energies doesn't always have to relate to love and affection towards someone or the energy being related to you. But there is something that could be um, around you or happening or occurring with you that you're holding on tight to let go. Whatever it is, it could be something minor, something simple. It needs a releasing. Four of Wands is the happiness card, so there could be some celebrations going on here for some Scorpios. I'm sorry, for Sagittarius that I'm reading for. See, I'm got to pay attention and stay focused here. Four of Wands, several things comes in mind when it comes to the Four of Wands: engagements, proposals, definitely, marriage. A lot of happiness that is usually shared inside of a structure of a building with other people. So when it comes to that energy, it could be someone thinking about relocating to a different area. And we have a big money card here, just like the Six of Swords here. But whether or not that relocation or decision to move relates to any types of purchases of land or property, couples deciding to move in, together with one another, taking their relationship a step further. That could be a step further in terms of any proposals or engagements. Of course, someone could be getting married, celebrating someone's birthday, anniversary. All of that is powerful energies. Families may make a decision to move in with one another. Could be platonic friends too. All right, following the Four of Wands, now we have the Two of Pentacles. This is a little minor juggling act here. This still could be a small pay raise like the Four of Pentacles. Juggling two things here, Sagittarius. You could be working two jobs. You could have an interest in two people, or you're working on two projects. The most minor thing that could come out of the energy of the Two of Pentacles is balancing your checkbook through the week. Then we have the major arcana, the Empress here. This is powerful because the Empress could be for some Sagittarians that I'm reading for having to redraw, refocus their energy back to themselves. The other most important things to remember about the Empress, she could be, she's related to any pregnancy news that may be surrounding you, childbirth. This is a card I always talk about, represents, beauty for me. So it could be a week of having to not only, redraw that energy back to yourself. And it's not a selfish act if you do that, okay? Taking care of yourself. There is something, though, that could be around you that's growing. There could be some sort of new developments or something that is expanding. The hint here is the Empress lays underneath that King of Pentacles. So it could be the money factor for some of you that I'm reading for. So anyway, feeling at peace, wanting to nurture yourself, care for yourself. So this could be a week where you focus the energy or refocus the energy back to yourself, and you're taking care of yourself, not only internally, but it could be externally. So you could be going to hair, appointments, nail salons, pedicure appointments, makeovers, could be modifying your diet, exercising more. Also, too, could be just spending some more time outdoors enjoying Mother Nature and God's beauty. That would be the Empress. Following the major arcana of the Empress, we have the major arcana of the Judgment card. So this judgment here, Sagittarius, this is the awakening card. So things that were hidden in the dark may come to the light, and that could be just you discovering some sort of self-discovery about something that you didn't think that you were capable of doing. Now, of course, that energy could also be something referring to something else, and it could be positive or negative, and also to some things that you discover about others that you didn't know before. That too can be positive or negative. Just make sure, there is the height of spiritual energy of protection, though, with the judgment card, and making sure that you are staying positive, not only towards your own energies, but towards others. You shouldn't have any problems because this card still would represent karma for me. Also, to Sagittarius, there may be something that you move along with this week. If it's not this week, it could be the following week where you didn't have an opportunity to move forward with because of, could have been a lack of resources, it could have been a lack of funds or whatever. Now, this may be the week that you move forward with something that you may not have, had an opportunity in the past to do so. Okay. Next up is the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is usually related to news coming in that's very fast that may put a smile on your face and also a touch of surprise. This is the beginning stages of this is the initializer. So you can, consider yourself to be initializing something in terms of beginning passion. That could be a new relationship, romantic, it could be a platonic friendship. It could be, under the pentacles there could be, formulating, a relationship with a coworker, uh, could be starting a new hobby or a creative pursuit. Ace of Wands. Following the Ace of Wands here for you, Sagittarius. Now we have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is usually slow moving energy here. So far, we haven't drawn any cards that would represent movement. So this could be what you're waiting for, who you're waiting for. This is my only timing card. So with the time aspect, I always give it 2 days, 2 week period of time. So it's the number two, like the high priestess and number two represent relationships. So some of you could be experiencing, if you're involved in a relationship, it's not going fast enough for you, things are moving slow. You could be waiting for a phone call, you could be waiting for something to arrive in the mail, waiting to jumpstart a project. But right now you don't have everything gathered together. All right. Additional messages here for you is the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups here is very positive, and of course, Nine of Cups is the yes answer to any romantic questions that you have for yourself. It is also the wish fulfillment card. So what you're hoping for, wishing for, praying for may manifest for you this week. Not an even number of cups, however, on an emotional scale, what you're going to put out this week, Sagittarius, you're going to get that back in return. Keep in mind that the Nine of Cups I read in comparison with the Star card Major Arcana. Now, I might be the only tarot reader that does that, but this is what I always, come up with. The Nine of Cups and the Chariot, I equate the equivalency of the Star card. So you get all of the energy of the Star card because of this Nine of Cups being here in your spread. So then you think in terms of social media, social networking, and that could be just a greater engagement of those things. If you are into social media, it could also be dream journaling this week. You could also have some sort of energy when it comes to enlightenment and development with your own psychic energies, right? You could meet somebody famous. However, staying focused on one thing or two, not feeling like, you're scattered in, like stars in the heaven, because that's still energy. All right. But this Nine of Cups also to Sagittarius is in the group of cards. The group of cards that I refer to is the Queen of Cups, the King of Cups. The Nine of Cups is, read differently by me, but it's still a very powerful card. I use that just specifically in formulating, romantic partnerships, bringing that energy together. But the Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups, Queen of Cups, King of Cups, those are the cards that I always refer to, that if, this card shows up here, belongs in a group of cards that you are already benefiting from some sort of, emotional happiness, satisfaction, fulfillment, and contentment on said specific relationship, family members, romantic partners, could be platonic friends, and it also could be coworkers as well. Following the Nine of Cups, now we have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is just one of my busy bees. Energy assisting you this week. You may be finding yourself doing things not only for yourself, but it could be family, it could be work related. But, you know, usually the Nine of Wands comes in here to give you that energy, extra push to carry out whatever it is that you are to carry out. Last card here for you, Sagittarius. Now we have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands moves this Two of Wands. Remember, I said if we get any movement cards, so the Three of Wands is a movement card, and that would be propelling this energy here. So anything that you may have been waiting for comes much sooner. All right. Three of Wands, however, could be traveling involved here this week. If you are traveling, you're going to be safe to and from, but also too, you could be moving towards something that's positive, and that energy could be moving towards you. I associate and assign long distance love affairs and attractions with the Three of Wands. All right, so this is what we have for you, Sagittarius, this week. And if you notice that you got a lot of your own energy here showing up, representing Three of Wands, Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, as well as the Four of Wands. Take what you're going to need, leave the rest alone. Don't forget to, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And any suggestions that you have in terms of me, doing something completely different, I'm open to that. Maybe changing the scenario around, because when I do stuff too long, then I get bored with it and start to become monotonous. And I don't like to get bored because my, interest will go elsewhere. So if there's any suggestions, please throw it in the comments. I'd appreciate it, and we'll see what we'll come up with. But in the meantime, you guys have a safe, great week ahead. Always come back to get more of these messages from me, Sagittarius, and I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.